First of all, good afternoon. Appreciate you guys and ladies being here. It's always refreshing when I have this opportunity to share time with you, to let you know, most of you, how much I really like you. And how much we appreciate the way you operate. You guys have a job to do, and we respect that, but we appreciate the way you do it with fairness and accuracy. And I think that's big. You know, going into year 7, wow. 7, wow. That's like for a coach, year 7 at a place, it's different. You kind of feel different, right? Like for sale signs, they like sometimes just pop up in your yard, right? They just like pop up. You got for sale signs in your garage. You don't even know why. But that hadn't happened here, and I'm as excited about our staff, about our team, about this program, about this city in year 7 as I was in year 1. And you know, time really flies when you're having fun. I say that to my wife all the time. We continue to add phenomenal people to this staff, right? From strength coaches to support personnel in academics, in our offensive and defensive analyst positions. We keep recruiting dynamic men from great families, and I think that's a big factor to the success that we've had over the years. And what's going on with our locker room, again, I think the kind of people who coach them, the kind of people we recruit and we put into that locker room, it makes me proud, right? It makes me proud of the leadership that we have in our locker room. I think our staff, along with Coach Kleiman, understands that that culture that you hear about, that leadership that we talk about, that we have a role in that as coaches, that we have a part in continuing to teach new guys as we bring them in exactly how things should work. I think our team, our program, we're in a special moment right now, and Coach Kleiman has talked about it to us as a staff, a moment where we understand, especially as a staff, I think our players are beginning to understand it, that this is a moment for us to take the next step, for us to move to the next level as a program. And what does that mean? That means that you win the games you're supposed to win, that you steal some games that nobody thinks that you can win, that you finish games, that you start fast in games, that you don't make mistakes at crucial times. And so, and it doesn't matter who's out there. And that's the pressure that we are placing on ourselves as coaches, and that we're placing on our players. Our offensive unit, every day they present challenges to us, right? I'm talking about from a schematic standpoint, forcing us to get lined up to different formations. It's been a big challenge for us. They're continually creative. They offer a lot of variety in personnel groupings, and it's been a challenge. But then from an athletic standpoint, dealing with Garrett Oakley, right? Plus Dylan Edwards, plus Joe Jackson, plus Jason Brown, plus Tibbs and Bradley, and oh yeah, Avery, him too, plus. And so it's been a challenge, but it's been an exciting, competitive one for us every single day. Defensively, we got to keep pushing our best players, our most experienced guys. We got to keep pushing those guys to be elite. Right, I'm talking about the Dez, I'm talking about Austin, I'm talking about VJ, Stufflebean, Chidi, Uso, Damian. Those guys, as we continue to pressure them to make the next step, for them to be even better players, we got to push them through this fall camp. And I think they've accepted those challenges every day. Now, we got a lot of newer guys, and we're talking to them about striving to find their roles, right? Newer guys littered throughout the roster that we have to continue to push them to find and maximize in whatever role they might be. And then, forget about the specialists, Mason and Simon, as well as a lot of guys who are younger guys who stood on the sidelines, who are finding themselves in those special teams key role positions. We got to push those guys as well. And they are those guys. I know we talk a lot about Avery, and we'll talk about Chidi and those people, but the special teams core players, especially in the landscape of today's football, those guys are critical if you want to win, right? And if you want to win far into the season. I think our team is having fun in fall camp, At some point in fall camp, it just gets to be fall camp, but I don't think we're there yet. I think we're having fun. We're really competitive every day. There's a period where the offense destroys the defense, and there's a period where the defense destroys the offense, and it goes back and forth, and I think that's good for your team, and I think that's good for the development, for your players understanding, okay, we lost that quarter, okay, we might have lost that place in the game, we have to bounce back. And so it's been fun to watch as a coach. With all that, I'll take your questions. It's very rare. It's very because if you look at it, each year we have 2 or 3 people somewhere in our staff that we have to replace, that move on and find a better opportunity. So when you have a staff, a defensive and offensive staff that can maintain cohesiveness, that can stay together. Now we argue quite a bit. Myself and Coach Wyatt, myself and Coach Stannard, myself and Coach Clint, we always are arguing, but at the end of the day, we leave the room holding hands. We leave the room on the same page. And I think time is what builds that. Not to mention I'm tougher than all those guys. Keep it to yourself.
From a defensive coach perspective, where is Avery now tougher to defend?
Well, I think he's making quicker, sharper, crisper decisions, which, especially for a guy in the secondary, that's a problem. He's making decisions with the football in their RPO game, right? He is seeing things pre-snap a lot better than he did as a young. He's still a young player, but he's seeing things a lot faster. And for the quarterback position, in my mind, for a quarterback, if we can confuse the guy well into the snap of the ball, then we have the advantage. If he understands what's going on before the snap, then it's going to be tough from a defensive standpoint.
I know you're probably still working through depth chart kind of stuff. When do you kind of hone in on and determine that kind of thing?
Well, we're probably going to make that decision. So the kicker, he normally aligns 5 yards from the ball. So when that leg starts to lift, I'll have a good idea at that point in Ireland.
Van, how close or far away are guys like Gunner and Asa from being healthy enough to help you guys again?
Yeah, the guys who are struggling with injuries on and off, both of those guys, and as a matter of fact, many of the guys who have had injuries throughout camp, they want to be out there. We know that. We understand that they want to be out there. But there's nothing like the actual rep. There's nothing like actually being out there, actually lining up, making that call, right? Feeling somebody next to you. There's nothing like that. They pay attention, and so we just got to keep them doing what they can do. Like I said, they pay attention. They take notes in the meeting. Everything that they can do except for taking those reps, they're doing it, and we can appreciate that. But they're frustrated when they're not out there, and we as coaches, we've got to support them in that quest. But I think they're moving along, doing whatever they can to be able to be ready to help us, from a physical standpoint.
And which of your corners would you say have impressed you the most during the preseason camp so far?
For different reasons, I've been impressed with different guys. Zayshawn has probably been the most consistent, right? And I almost want to say most mature, but that's definitely not fair to say for a guy who is a sophomore, going to be a sophomore. But he has been the most consistent player. But I've been proud, I've been pleased of the efforts that Donnie McIntosh has made. He came in here as a happy-go-lucky, bells on his shoes, just happy to be here kind of guy, but he's been more competitive. He's been more communicative. He's found himself in better positions, making plays on the ball. And so I'm pleased with him. I've always had good trust in Justice James. He's gotten the most reps in that group. And so I feel good about him continually. He keeps getting better day after day. And I would say that about all those guys. Jaden Rowe, a big, strong, physical player. I'm excited about where he is. He's continuing to learn the system. So, man, for different reasons, I've been excited about them. The younger guys have come in and worked hard and had their noses in the books. And so of those three guys, the flashiest one I've seen over the course of fall camp, I've seen JoJo do some really good things. But he's still a freshman, and he still has a long ways to go.
How legit is Tibbs and Bradley and these newcomers at wide receiver?
You ever heard of MC Hammer? Too legit to quit. Those guys, they've again been a challenge for us. They're big, they're strong, they can run, and continually they help our guys get better because we face those type on the outside. We face those type receivers in the Big 12, and so we work with them every day. We work release drills with them every day, and some days, again, they win, and then other days we win, and it goes back and forth. And I think they all appreciate it when we have corners who can challenge them. We appreciate it having those receivers who challenge us daily. So I'm excited about where those guys are headed as we continue to move forward in camp.
As a whole, Van, what do you like best about this defense?
I like the fact that they like playing together. I like the fact that the players who are in those, what we would call those leadership roles, that they have taken that on full bore, right? The guys who speak, they speak. The guys who are in front, rah-rah, they do that job. The guys who are behind the scenes, grabbing young players and keeping them in line, they do that. They follow those roles. So I'm excited about the fact that we as coaches, we don't have to push the leaders in that way, it's their, Coach Kleiman always says it about our whole team, and we say it about the defense, that it's their defense. And as far as they push us is as far as we'll go. As coaches, we're always in the background, but we haven't had to push these guys for their efforts, talking about the leadership. We hadn't had to push these guys for when it's not right to say something. And so that's what I'm most pleased about, because there's going to be adverse times. There are going to be situations where we're going to be down in a game defensively. We may not be playing well in the first quarter of a game. And we're going to need, the coaches can get on top of the benches and yell and scream, but it's more powerful, it's more prominent when the players do it. And I'm excited that our players have taken that on.
There was talk in the spring and in the offseason about team speed and guys were running 23 miles an hour. And how have you seen that maybe pay dividends on defense? Is this a fast defense, and maybe is because of all the weight room training, is this maybe a tougher or stronger defense than in the past?
Well, I think as a staff, we're going to always train the toughness. We're going to always train the effort. And so we're going to get that out of them if they got it or not. But to your point, we have made a focus. We made an emphasis in our strength training area to get these guys to be faster athletes. We've recruited some very athletic players at the safety position, at the linebacker position, and those guys, they've enhanced our roster, right? It looks different than a few years ago when you talk about the speed. It does. It looks faster. But as coaches, we don't necessarily recognize it because the expectations, they are what they are, right? And so sometimes we can lose that point that you made. But yeah, I think as we've watched it, it has been a faster defense, right? Guys are reacting faster. Well, it looks like they're reacting faster, and we attribute it to our coaching. But those guys got a little bit more ability than maybe we've seen over the years, and we can appreciate that. Well, those are for rent, so you're going to be paying for these?
Is this Matt Wells' offense as potent as what it feels like?
Yes, I can't come in here and give you a lot of information, and you guys get upset when I don't give you information. But I got the playbook. $25.95. It's yours. No, seriously, it has been a challenge. The things that they've done in terms of their personnel, right? They have young people on the offensive side of the ball from a skill standpoint. I didn't talk about the offensive line because, those guys, the Taylor Portiers, those guys have been mainstays for a minute. I think Portier has been here for at least 15 years. But the skill players are what I face every day, and they're very much a challenge, is where they put them and how they attack you and the speed at which they do it with.